Good morning, dear friends. You and I are invited to a new day. God is so generous that He gives us always opportunities for renewal. And our renewal today comes with Emmanuel's message, The Necessary, in the book Follow Me by Emmanuel through Chico Xavier. This book brings to us today a passage when Jesus was there and Martha and Mary, the sisters, were also there. Mary stayed to listen. Martha, as every woman at the time, would go within and prepare things for when the meeting was over. Martha turned to Jesus and said, "Master, Mary is decided to stay." And Jesus replied, "Yes, few things are needed, and indeed only one, Martha. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her." So what is this one thing that Jesus said that we need and all that we need? Because Martha is all of us. We think we need to spend hours at work, and we need to be always surrounded by family, always the to-do list. That's what we need, essentially. Let's see. Emmanuel explains, many businesses, you may have many businesses, close or remote, but you will not escape from taking its lessons, because death will come to you bringing reality, the reality which you didn't even dream about. However, you may administer many interests, but you cannot control all of the angles of the service, since evil and indifference comes from different directions, harming the ray of action of all the missionaries of elevation. And yet, you may have an enormous wealth that you will ignore for many years in the region to which life will conduct your money. And you will improvise many pompous speeches without knowing the consequences of your words. You may organize a great movement around your steps. However, if they do not constitute something for the general good, for the legitimate good, you'll be tired in vain. You will experiment many pains, but if you do not remain vigilant, benefiting yourself in the struggle, your frustrations will have happened uselessly. You will exalt the right of your indignated and arduous word. However, it's likely that you will not be stimulating but indiscipline and laziness in many. The Master was assertive in his lesson to Martha, who was a dedicated and active cooperator, when he said, "But only one thing is necessary." Above all, Jesus wanted to say that it is on us to keep inside of us the adequate attitude before the designs of the all-powerful, advancing according to the pathway and the script that the divine law has traced for us. Once we understand what is necessary, each happening, each person, each thing will adjust themselves before our eyes, taking their very place. Without this spiritual position of attunement with the celestial instructor, it will be very difficult for anyone to benefit themselves from anything. There are people who believe that there are two lives, your religious life and your work life. That's not true. Today in this message, there is no two lives. There's only one. Only one. Our lives at home, our lives at work, our lives in our community belong to one same block. But it is on us to blend them in as we become the same person, synchronized with the designs of God, no matter where we are. We can no longer live splitted lives, fragmented lives. We can no longer we can live this way. We have been living this for millennia. There's one life here and one life there. No. According to what the teachings say, it's just one life. But it's up to us to harmonize all of its aspects, all of its features, all of its instances with the designs of God. It's up to us. So what do we need to do this? Emmanuel says, and I'm going to read it again. He says, only one thing is necessary. He's quoting Jesus in Luke 10:42. And he says, only one thing. What do we need to make sense of everything in our lives? One thing. An adequate attitude before the designs of the all-powerful, advancing according to the designs of the divine law. Meaning coherence and consistency. But are we coherent? Often times we're not. We're not. Because we feel splitted. Oh, here's not the Spiritist Center, so it's okay if I cuss. It's okay if I this. It's okay. No, it's not okay. It's your life. It's not about others seeing us. So if we are here, there, or elsewhere, it's the same life, the same God, the same laws. So there is no like, oh, but now it's my time. Come on, let's not talk about God and things. Let's just enjoy. There are people who are spiritists and think this way. Come on, we're just at a party. Forget about these things. Well, in the party, it's still God's world. We're still under the same laws of life. We're still connected to many minds according to our attunement. So there is no like between this door And this wall is my world, and this wall and this door is God's world. Everything. If you are at a bar, at a party, at the shower, at the Spirit Center, and whenever shopping, it's the same world. And the day we go everywhere with that benefit to everyone, he says here, if you do things that are not creating the legitimate good to all, you'll be tired in vain. Isn't that what happens to us? We go to work thinking selfishly for ourselves. And that's the problem. Because then we go home feeling extremely weary and tired. We wonder why. Because we were there thinking only of ourselves. And that is not attunement with God's laws. But let's do a test. Let's go to the supermarket today. Let's go to our work. Let's go everywhere thinking of God and in the same attitude that we may have when we go to a Spiritist center or when we are in a Spiritist meeting. Let's see how different our lives will become just for a day. That's the attitude. Martha was splitted. Mary, instead, her sister, as Jesus said, she chose what is better, what was not going to be taken away from her. Food for thought. Let us meditate and pray. But remember, this prayer is collective prayer. If you pray your prayer, I pray my prayer, each one of us, it's not collective. So there's no purpose of us being here together. The purpose of being here together is to learn to pray collectively, which is ever more powerful. All of our needs will be taken care of as long as we are praying in one thought, one feeling. How do we do it? If whomever is taking the lead of the prayer, we follow through, thought by thought, feeling by feeling. If you start your own petition, the current is broken, okay? So let us practice this current collective prayer, all right? As we learn in the book The Messengers, chapter 24, Ismalia's prayer, the power of our collective prayer. Shall we, friends? Dear God, we first and foremost express our gratitude to you. Gratitude for another day, another moment, for the opportunity of growing and learning always. We feel your embrace of kindness in illuminated hands of the spirit doctors, nurses, and therapists who kindly apply unto us the energy medicine that we need for the mind and the bodies. We visualize this beautiful light, full of love and mercy, enveloping us from head to toe, strengthening us, balancing us, and spreading itself to the world. We visualize healing hands enveloping our loved ones in protection, in joy, in strength, in healing, spreading to their colleagues, their work places, their schools. And we see this light of your love visiting our neighbors, enveloping everyone with so much strength. And from our neighbors to our cities, from our cities to our states, and then our countries, we visualize love enveloping our nations, building bridges of friendship and solidarity amongst us, in a world that is marching towards its evolution. We pray for the leaders of the world who need inspiration to fulfill their difficult task amongst many. And as for us, we visualize ourselves cooperating with everyone, thinking of the needs of others before ourselves, and making decisions that are fundamentally new for a new life. May we be courageous to reinvent ourselves as we are fully focused on you. Feeling your presence, seeking the good, feeling the good, visualizing the good, and molding the good with all the resources we have at hand. Thank you, dear Lord, and so be it. Didn't Jesus say that to follow him it would be very possible? He says only one thing is needed. What is it? Our attunement with God. Everywhere we go, no matter where we are, there's only one world, God's world. Everything else is our very fragmentation. Let us defragment ourselves by applying this consciousness, which is our connection with God and its designs. We wish you, dear friends, a beautiful day and night. Thank you, Nora. Thank you, Daisy. Thank you, Katia. Thank you, Lu. Thank you, Slavic. Thank you, Narciso. Thank you, John. Thank you, friends. We wish you a beautiful day and night in this one thing that is necessary, our connection with God. Thank you, friends.